First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the blessing of being able to coach these guys and man, do what I love. I remember being a young high school coach and watching games like this on TV and just dreaming of being here. And so, I mean, obviously this is not the outcome that I dreamt about, but just being given this opportunity, and I understand it is a huge blessing. So blessed to be here and thankful to work with these guys. Want to give Johnny and his staff and his team all the credit for the win tonight. Their players made plays. You know, Johnson and Hall going for 49 tonight when we had an emphasis on them. And sometimes you just need dudes to be dudes, and they were dudes tonight. And then, making free throws down the stretch was big for them. So all the credit goes to those guys.
Coach, when you have a season like this where you guys go on a winning streak and then immediately followed up with a losing streak and a close loss on the road, what's the message like to the team in the locker room?
Yeah, we gotta be better. Like we're not good enough to take plays off or have like we lost the middle eight today, right? Like the 10-0 run to end the half, 6-2 run to start the second half. Right, it's a 14-point swing. Right, we're not good enough. I love our guys' toughness, grittiness. We keep fighting to come back and stuff. But at some point in time, we gotta not have to fight to come out. Just fight at the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about the comeback. And so, but yeah, we got to be better. And you guys know me. Normally, I walk here and say, hey, I take the blame for it and stuff. But we all have to take ownership of this one, and moving forward because it doesn't get any easier. Right, we're in the second best league in America this year, but over the last 7 years, been the best league in America, and that's what we signed up for. I told them as 12-year-olds, they dreamt of playing in games like this, right? They'd watch TV and go, man, I want to be out there, right? And so now, like, we got to be sick and tired of it, and then like make the change. We have to do that.
Max, Coach mentioned losing the middle eight, the 10-0 run, and then sort of another run to start the second half. Can you pinpoint a reason as to why that sort of happened, or what do you guys need to do better to sort of not allow that to happen?
I just think everything starts on the defensive end. Obviously, we were getting stops and stuff like that, but we weren't getting the rebound. And then we could have got a lot of points in transition. That was part of the game plan, but we couldn't get in transition because if we didn't get the rebound. So I felt like they went on a little run, that tonal run, because we couldn't get a rebound. They just kept getting offensive rebounds too.
Coach, we saw Buddy Rich get some playing time today after sort of not seeing the floor. What did he do to earn that playing time, and what did you think of his performance?
Buddy was good. Buddy's grown up, and part of the great part of my job, but it's also the part that probably gets questioned the most is the opportunity to help these young men grow as men, right? And there's no business in the world where you get paid before you work, right? And that's what you have to teach these guys, man, that you got to work, right? It's not easy. Man, Naquan Tomlin, I don't know if he's in there. He's out there, right? And he just told me, he said, man, I've learned so much, just how important it is, and how hard it is, right? And so, like, there's no easy way. Like, life's not easy. Right, and so Buddy's doing some growing up, and I'm proud of him, and I was proud of his effort today and being ready. I should have probably played him last game. I was close on it. The last game of getting him in there, but he's responding the right way, and now he needs to respond the right way to this.
Their big man Mustafa Diam sort of gave you guys problems throughout on the defensive side of the ball, and then especially I guess on the offensive glass. What challenges did he present, and how can you guys do a better job of facing big men like that and containing them as much as possible?
Yeah, tell you the truth, we didn't like. I really didn't think he had an impact because he was out there, but we wanted him to be a scorer, right? Like, we wanted him to be the person who they was throwing the ball to and being aggressive because that played in our favor. We didn't want Hall and Johnson doing it, and so, yeah, I mean, he's a talent. Obviously, he's a talent, and he's going to be a really good basketball player. And so very, very impressed with his skill level, to late in the game when he stepped to line, hit those 2 free throws, and there was like there was no doubt those things were going in when they left his hands. So that kind of confidence and that kind of skill level for a guy that size, that's impressive. But like if he had taken 7 more shots, I would have been happy with that.
Doug, when you guys dig yourself into that kind of hole and you have to try and bounce back, and you guys get so close and sort of finish short, how frustrating is that? And how difficult is it to come back from those deficits when you build them?
I mean, it definitely is very frustrating because nobody wants to lose the game, but we dug ourselves a 16-point hole. In one of the best leagues in the country, is pretty hard to come back from. So to be honest, all we can do is learn from this. We got another one coming up, so we can't get this one back. We got to put it behind us.
Coach, 3 games left in the regular season and then conference tournament. How important are these next 3 games for you guys, and what do you want to see from the team in these next 3?
Yeah, I'm not thinking about 3 games. I'm thinking about 1 game, right? That's what this is about. It's about 1 game. 1 game, 1 mission, win at home. And like I said on the radio, and I'll say right now to our fans, like any team that's come to Bram and felt the octagon of doom, right, like what it's supposed to be like, has left with an L, right? And the ones like we played in January when the students weren't there, they didn't get to feel the doom. And last game, that team didn't get to feel the doom. We're not good enough without our fans. So, I need our students at the game, right? And every time I've been asked to speak to a sorority or fraternity or any student organization, I've been there, right? And so I'm asking like our students to show up for this next one. We need them. We can't win. We don't win without Bram being the octagon of doom. And so this is a challenge to our fans and to our students, and I've been there for you guys. Every one of them has my phone number. I give it out to all the students. If they need me, they can call me or text me, and I'm there for them. And so I need them, right? Our team needs them, and so that's what I want to see. I want to see a packed Bram and make life miserable for Colorado.
Question for both Coach and Max. What's the biggest difference that from that winning streak to now that sort of changed the results on the court?
I just say on that 6-game winning streak, it felt like there was a different type of energy, defensively and offensively. We were getting rebounds, we were pushing it up the court, getting to the hoop, getting fouled. I mean, it's not that we're doing that now, it's just then we just had a different type of energy, and I definitely feel that.
Yeah, during the win streak, our DER was like .94. No, it was 94.5. Our DER was, and then the next 2 games after that. So I'm not positive what it was the 3rd game, but the next 2 games after that, it was 115 point whatever, and that's defense. That's defensive effort, and so we're capable of holding teams, in 90, 95 or less points per possession, and we just hadn't done it. And I'd be surprised if it was lower than 95 in this game.
Finally, do you have an update on Coleman? I know he didn't play today, and you sort of mentioned earlier in the week that you didn't think he would.
Yeah, I'm not, Luke and Phil and, Coleman's doing a great job rehabbing and doing everything Luke has asked him to, and Doc and those guys are taking care of that. Coleman has a bright future ahead of him, and we're not going to do anything to jeopardize that. And so when he's ready, he'll come back, and if that's next game, it's great. If it's not, I'm okay with that because, I'm here for the long haul with that young fella.
I guess with the offensive rebounding and the scoring runs that UCF went on, is that defensive effort or is that something else that you can pinpoint?
Well, defense doesn't stop till we get the ball, right? That's it. Defense doesn't stop till we get the ball. So our first shot defense, has been pretty good, and we gotta get the ball off the glass. And we had too many bobbles and too many times that we didn't block guys out, and we'll be watching it on film.
Coach, I just want to get your thoughts on Johnny Dawkins and the kind of job he's done at UCF. I think you got him in the first game last year, their first Big 12 game at your place. And
Yep.
I know UCF, a lot of people thought they kind of had the biggest hurdle, moving up from the American to, play in the Big 12. But just what are your thoughts on Johnny and how he's kind of built this program?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's like the most important thing to me about Johnny, right, is that as a high school coach, I would drive guys to 5-star camp from Texas to Virginia, And on the way back, we would stop at Duke and North Carolina. And whenever we stopped at Duke, if Johnny was in the gym playing, working guys, doing whatever he was doing, he'd work guys that weren't Duke players out, play 2-on-2 full court, do different things. He would always stop and come over and talk to me. As a high school, I had no players, right? Couldn't help them. He'd come over and spend time with us. They would show us around, you know, the facilities, and just was so kind, man. And, you know, that's the kind of dude I want my son to play for if he played, you know? Like that's the kind of person I want mentoring young men who are going to become future leaders and stuff. And so the changing landscape of college basketball, it is so unfair to judge coaches right now because they haven't given us set rules. And every time they give us rules, they've changed it the last 3 years. The rules have changed every year my last 3 years, right? Like what guys I would have been able, like wouldn't have been able to leave, were able to leave. You know, guys that didn't have eligibility had eligibility. You know, and so it is really hard, right? And so it's hard to judge guys when administrators who are making the rules, right, get us a set of rules, then give us a couple of years and then judge us. Okay, and so, but as a man, it doesn't get better than him.
Max, you had a season high 22 points in 33 minutes. Talk a little bit about how you kind of was a leader at certain points when K-State needed you maybe most.
Yeah, it definitely felt good getting 22. But I mean, all that stuff doesn't really matter if you don't get the W. I feel like I do. Not I, just everyone on our team. I mean, we do whatever it takes to win, but obviously we didn't come up with that today. So I mean, it doesn't really mean nothing to me.
Coach, you were able to hold UCF to over 3 minutes without hitting a field goal, and you guys hit 5 of your last 7. Kind of just take me through what happened, why you guys weren't able to completely close the deficit. Was it just that they kept getting to the line? Just what did you see?
Yeah, you know, I thought our zone stymied him a little bit there at the end. You know, but I think a couple possessions we fouled. And so they were able to go to the free throw line. You know, you can't guard the free throw line. So, but, you know, they did what, you know, good teams, well-coached teams do. They figured out a way to close at the end.
Coach, midway through the first half and even in the second, we saw different defenses, full court presses, zones. What did you see that allowed you guys to force 15 turnovers on UCF?
You know, we just were really doing it to try and get the ball out of Johnson's hands. And because, I mean, you know, he's the straw that stirs the drink for them. And so it wasn't necessarily we was trying to cause turnovers, but, you know, I just felt like for us, we need to cause turnovers so that we can get out in transition.
Coach, a lot of the defensive stats, rebounds, blocks, steals, UCF had your number today. Can you kind of walk us through what was really UCF was doing right today?
Let's see. You know, I just don't think we closed possessions, right? Like, I mean, like this whole thing changes if, you know, we end possessions with a block out, right? That's what, you know, we get the ball with 2 hands and all that changes. And so I thought their effort in the second half to go to the offensive glass was greater than their effort in the first half. And I didn't think our attention to blocking out to start the second half was very good. And so they got 5 offensive rebounds, I think, by the first media when I called the timeout. And then at the end of the game, they ended with 3 offensive rebounds when we got stops. So to me, that was the difference in the game. Thanks a lot. God bless. Go Cats.